morning, finishing off this week, the final week right before Christmas comes to town. So happy to be here with you. Thank you for your patience here this morning on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life. Inside of MonPawsPopcorn.com's What's Poppin', we're going to start the show off with the annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt. Then we'll jump into Lead, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero. The acronym stands for Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver. That acronym was created by the grace of God, and coming up with an idea and sitting down with it. I honestly think that just sitting there in December, I think of 2019, God helped me come up with Lead. I wanted an acronym where where it was a word itself that had meaning, and then what were those letters beyond that word. So I appreciate the opportunity to bring this to you by the grace of God, and we're going to be talking about the topic today, You Don't Need It. We'll jump into the top dog of the week, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. And we'll round out the show with a special coming from the West Coast to the East Coast. Mark Neville will be joining me, the CEO of the Directv Holiday Bowl. Excited to speak with him about this upcoming bowl matchup between the Syracuse Orange and the Washington State Cougars. So a lot of great stuff here on the broadcast this morning. We're going to get started right into it with the annoying moment of the week.
Dan Tortora proudly brings you...
Is that for real? Are you kidding me?
The annoying moment of the week.
I really honestly, I don't know how to respond to this.
Presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It's what happy tastes like.
Do you have to be that crazy? I guess so. Here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports truly meets that thing called life, it's time to bring you the annoying moment of the week. And the annoying moment of the week was something that I was thinking about yesterday. Bathroom etiquette. I don't think we talk about it enough. Bathroom etiquette. When someone goes, you go into a bathroom and sometimes things are nice. It looks like the restaurant just opened and everything's great and good and we're ready to go. Other times you walk in there and it looks like there was some type of wild animal that was let loose that just decided to kind of freak out. It hadn't eaten. Maybe it was given some drugs and it's just jumping up and down, going crazy on the toilet. There's pee everywhere. There's toilet paper everywhere. There's things on the walls. There's things on the floor. There's things you don't understand. And, a few days ago, it was a couple days ago. So I was at a restaurant, I won't say what restaurant I was at, and I went into the bathroom of this chain restaurant. And it's not their fault, but somebody had gone in there, somebody had, done what they needed to do with their lives, and they didn't decide to really clean anything or flush. And I feel like there's that bathroom etiquette that we really don't talk about enough. And the whole take care of yourself, take care of the area, treat it like it's your home. Make sure that when things are done, they're done, and you take care of them, and you put this away, and you put that away, and you just have common sense and common courtesy toward other people to not go in there and look like an absolute animal, a tornado, right? Because I went in there and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to have to hold my breath. I'm going to have to hold my breath while I'm in here today. That's how this morning's going to have to go. I'm going to have to pretend that I don't see or smell or know what's here. And, you say, well, Dan, why didn't you just flush it for him? Well, number one, that defeats the purpose. And number two, I would have loved to. But I didn't know if it was going to go down because of the state of the area. By the way, good morning to all of you that are having breakfast while you listen to the show. But it's true. It's true. We don't talk about it enough. Bathroom etiquette is a real thing, and we don't speak about it, really. We kind of just handle our business. We see people go in there. They're in there for like a half an hour. They don't wash their hands. They just walk out and leave. And I want to go over to their girlfriend and be like, just so you know, if you hold this man's hand or any of that stuff, if y'all are being affectionate, he's nasty. So, but it's It's common practice. We live in a society where we're supposed to be more civilized than animals, right? We're supposed to be better than an orangutan, better than a lion let loose somewhere. We're supposed to have etiquette and have a way that we carry ourselves that show that we are civilized people. But we don't always do that. We don't always show that. And it just hit home for me when I was in this public place this week that where is this bathroom etiquette? Where are these people that understand that when I leave and I've done something, especially something gross, that I'm supposed to take care of it? I'm supposed to flush it down the toilet. I'm supposed to wash my hands. I'm supposed to care. How many of us do that? How many of us care? And if you know someone who's like this in a public place, say something to them. Love them enough to tell them to not be this hippopotamus let loose coming out of the zoo. We have a way that we're supposed to carry ourselves. Well, Dan, how do you know that? How do you know how we're supposed to carry ourselves? We're all different. Yeah, we're all different. But we're all human beings. And we all should care a little bit about other people walking into a place that we were just at. You know that whole notion, leave it better than you found it? Well, maybe we should start doing that. Maybe we should start living by that. Maybe we should start leaving places better than we find them. Because that bathroom, I don't know what it was before, but afterwards, disgusting. You know, you go to the Dome, and there's so many things that have been renovated in the Dome, except for the trough, right? Where, like, I feel like men are essentially we're cows, and we just line up to, like, milk the trough. There's this, people don't know this unless you know this. When you go to the Dome, when you go to the bathroom, there's not urinals that are set up on the wall. There is just a, like, steel, just open. It's hard to even describe it. It's just like, it's this steel space that it looks like it's on a conveyor belt. And you go into the Dome, you go into the men's bathroom, and there's this steel opening, this like V-shaped thing that's just there for you all to go to the bathroom together. And it's on the wall like this, and then it goes down a long line and it comes down. So it's like a giant U, but like an elongated U. And you just go into the bathroom at the Dome, and you just go to the bathroom touching everyone by you, 50 people doing it at the same time. And then they got a few urinals for the people that don't want to feel like they're going to the bathroom with total strangers out in the wild in the open. That's another thing that needs to change. Because and then, you know, the people that do use the urinals, I don't know if people understand that. Hey, just treat the urinal like it's a game at the state fair, okay? You know the game at the state fair where you have to shoot water at that little circle in order to get a prize? That's what you need to do when you're at the Dome. Shoot the water into the circle. This circle's a lot bigger than the one at the state fair, so it should be easier for you. The amount of pee on the floor in the Dome is uncanny. It's uncanny. It's insane. The amount of people that actually hit the circle versus the floor is like 15%, maybe 17.2. On a good day, 20%. The other 80%, floor. And it's like, who raised these people? If you're going to go into the bathroom and you're just going to go to the bathroom on the floor, then go to the bathroom on the floor. I mean, it's gross. And people don't pick up after other people. I have to clean off a toilet seat for someone. I got to put the toilet seat down. I got to do this, do that. I always think about other people because that's how I was raised. I have no idea who raised some of the people to go to the bathroom in the Dome. But it must be, most of you must have the life of Mowgli from the Jungle Book, because outside of being raised by a bear and a monkey and a tiger, but even they, I think, know some etiquette, maybe a little bit. So, I mean, to me, the annoying moment of the week to me is when you go to the bathroom, flush the toilet, wipe the toilet seat off. Also, don't go to the bathroom on the floor. But the dome needs to change what they have, because this open trough where it's like, just stand here with a bunch of strangers and don't look at each other. You can't even, it's like there's nowhere to look. If you're in the middle of this thing, you're trying to go to the bathroom, you can't look down because you're going to see everybody on your left and your right. You got to look, you honestly have to look up. You have to look up. It's very strange. It's very weird. There's no divide. It's just a wide open space. And if there's anywhere that looks like you're an animal, it's the men's bathroom in the dome. And maybe that's why people pee on the floor. I don't know. The annoying moment of the week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, 4322 East Genesee Street. It is what happy tastes like. People are like, I did not expect that this morning. But, you know, when your boy walks into a bathroom and I see that people genuinely just don't care for the next person that comes in, it made me think to myself, this is the annoying moment of the week. This has got to be the annoying moment of the week. It's got to come down to etiquette and care and just common human decency. Just be a decent human being. I'm not even asking you to be a great top-notch human being, which I hope that you will be. I'm asking you to be decent. I'm asking you to be like the bare minimum. I mean, as far as I know, we were all potty trained as children, so when did you lose it? When did you lose your training? Is going to the bathroom in a public place like riding a bike, do you remember it, or can you forget it? Can you forget how to go to the bathroom in public? Can you forget that you were potty trained? Because there's a lot of adults in the dome that I question if they were ever potty trained, and if so, did they get to a certain age and say, no more potty training? I'm going back to basics. I'm just going to run around with my diaper on and hope for the best. I have no idea. I just know what I see. We'll take a step aside for a fast break here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. Proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, the annoying moment of the week. Don't let the cold weather fool you, folks. The same great flavor at Carvel DeWitt is waiting for you today. 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York. And you can go there and get the DT Dolphin exclusively at the longest standing Carvel franchise in America. That is Carvel DeWitt. Head there today and any day of the week, 4322 East Genesee Street in DeWitt, New York, to grab the DT Dolphin, which is mint chocolate chip ice cream, green for the Lemoyne Dolphins, and it's topped off with hot fudge, whipped cream, and a cherry, green and gold sprinkles, and a chocolate dolphin jumping out of your whipped cream. Go and get it any day of the week, and on Wednesdays, it's buy one, get one DT Dolphin, because Wednesdays is Sunday at Carvel DeWitt. Buy one, get one every Wednesday of the DT Dolphin. We look forward to seeing you out there, and you can get the DT Dolphin any day of the week. Thanks to Carvel DeWitt, Jay Cartini, and the team for being our longest-standing partner here on Wake Up Call. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. When we come back, we will jump into the topic, You Don't Need It, in Lead, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily. We bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life, here inside of a wonderful, cool, snowy morning here in central New York. We appreciate you being with us up and down the East Coast, the Midwest, the West Coast, and all around the globe on wakeupcalldt.podbean.com, our live internet streaming radio, and on video on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt and on facebook.com/wakeupcalldt. It's time for us to get into LEAD, our acronym, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero, and bringing you this Chick-fil-A Cicero on 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, New York, right by Cicero North Syracuse High School. We have LEAD, Learn, Evolve, Ad-lib, and Deliver is the acronym. And today's topic, you don't need it. You don't need it. There's a lot of things in our lives we think we need. I got to have this, I got to have this, I got to have that. They tell me I need this, Dan. They tell me I should have this, Dan. They tell me this is something that has to be in my life. I think this has to be in my life. Social media tells me this. This is how I'm cool. Right? If I have this, if I do this, if I go here, if I go there, if I have this status, then I'm going to be somebody. I'm going to be somebody important, Dan. You don't always need it. We think we need these things. I need to have a flashy car. I need to have a big house. I need to have expensive clothing. I got to have that jewelry. I have to have that status. I have to have this many followers. I have to have this many clicks and likes. And I live in a world of the media where there's probably some people in the media that say it's all about the clicks. It's all about the clicks, Dan. Doesn't matter how you get them. It's all about the clicks. Got to get them, got to get them, got to get them. It's like crack. It's like a drug. And I don't adhere to that. I don't want to have that personality of addiction. You don't need all the things that maybe you think you need. For our lives, peace in your mind, peace in your heart, peace in your home. You sit down with people and you say, there's no amount of money that's going to create happiness. There's no amount of money that's going to create peace. There's no amount of money that's going to create safety. There's no house that's going to do that. There's no car that's going to do that. There's no hot girl I'm dating or handsome guy and this and that that's going to do that for you. Create peace. Well, they're hot, so I'm going to have peace. Well, I got a lot of money, so I'm going to have safety. Well, I got a nice house, so now I'm secure. Really? You think about these people that are rich who have their houses broken into. Somebody being beautiful doesn't mean anything. There's beautiful people in Hollywood get divorced all the time. If material things and outward appearance and money and status, if that all created happiness and peace and good in our lives, then why are there people that had all those things that took their own lives? I'm not saying that people that have them take their own lives, but I'm saying it's happened. That has happened numerous times. Kate Spade, Anthony Bourdain. People that we thought were at the top of the mountain decided something inside of them couldn't be healed. And I hope it is now, and I hope they're in heaven. Because that pain is a terrible pain, and I've had friends that have ended their lives sooner than God's plan. So when I look at this world that we live in today, about all the things that we need, you need a new phone. You realize by the time I got the iPhone 12, 13 was coming out, and now we're on 16, and I feel like I haven't had this phone that long. Right? You need to get the new iPhone. You need to get this. You need to get that. Like, you got to do this. You got to do that. You got to do it all. I mean, Christmas, you got to get the new PlayStation. I bought an Xbox. I bought an Xbox One X. And within a very short amount of time, the Xbox Series X came out. And then they stopped making games for Xbox One X. And I just bought the Xbox One X. And by the way, it was $800 at the time. I got a deal. But it was $800. You got an $800 system, and in 4 or 5 months, you just throw that system in the trash. Buy a new one. And you buy a new one, but you're sitting there going, well, what if they come out with another one? What am I supposed to do then? You know, this keep buying, keep doing this. This fickle society. Yeah, you got the hot girl, but there's going to be a hotter girl. So when you find the hotter girl, break up with this one. Yeah, you got the handsome, attractive guy. He's got his life together. But when you find another guy who's more handsome, who's this, who's that, who's got this, who's got that, then you break up with him, you find another one. You just keep trading in for the new model. That's what some things in society are teaching us. You trade in this social media for the new, more hip social media. You turn in this guy for the new, more hip guy. You turn in this girl for the new, more hip girl. You turn in this house. You turn in this car for the new one. This phone for the new one. And then we start treating people like that. What you realize in your life, what you will realize in your life at some point, is that peace of mind and peace of heart, peace of home, coming home to nobody because the person that you were with was stressful and toxic and negative and dramatic, or if you do come home to somebody, that you come home to someone who is peaceful. You come home to someone who is kind. They say that your fights should... They say that all the fights that you have in your life, everything you fight for, everything you're doing out there, those should happen outside of the house, not inside of the house. Right? When you come home, your biggest battles should not be fought within your own walls. But some of us live that. I did. I got out of it. Not everybody gets out. Not everybody thinks they can. That makes me sad. Dan, I don't have enough money to leave. What does that have to do with anything? Well, I don't want to be homeless, and I want to have this, and I have a good lifestyle, and blah, blah, blah. Oh, okay. You have one life to live. What is more important to you, money or peace? What's more important to you, love or stuff? Those are questions that we have to ask ourselves. And if money is more important to you, and things are more important to you, and status is more important to you than happiness and peace and calmness and the lack of drama, then I pray for you. Because my whole life, pretty much, I've wanted to have a family. Ever since I was a little kid, I'm like, I want to fall in love. I want to have a wonderful, beautiful wife inside and out. I want to have these amazing kids. I want to raise them. And I look at my life now and I say, God, thank you that I didn't have kids with the people that I dated. Thank you that I wasn't in that situation where I have to be an every other Saturday dad. Because I couldn't, to me, if you told me I had to drop my kid off and I couldn't see him till next week, I'll sleep in my car in the driveway. I'll wait till the next week right there. Because I don't want to miss a moment. I want to be there. And I know there's a lot of people out there that have that life. And I pray that God guides you and guards you in every part of it. And that you have the life that you want. I'm grateful that I don't have to go through that. But I know a lot of people do. And we have to learn to not settle. We do. What you're going to realize in your life is that your peace can't be bought. You're going to give love, but you're not going to accept abuse. You're going to be a loving, caring, humble, kind, warm person, but it doesn't mean you're going to be weak. There's a difference between kindness and weakness. You're going to show up, but you're not going to sit there and wait for somebody to finally come through for you, right? You're going to carry on with your life, and you're going to be the best that you can be. You don't need all these things that they tell you that you need. You don't have to have all this status and have all that. It drives you nuts because you're never going to have enough followers on social media. You're never going to have enough money. The people that chase money, notoriety, power, prestige, they're never happy. When you chase your dreams, all the stuff comes with it. When you chase God and you chase the kingdom of heaven, all the good stuff comes with it. How do you know that, Dan? Because that's what I do. I've never chased the money. I'm not happy with that. I left the job where I was making good money because I wasn't myself. I didn't feel like me. I didn't feel respected. I looked in the mirror one day all dressed up. I thought I looked nice. I looked in the mirror and I said, I was putting water on my face. I washed my face and I looked right in the mirror, right at myself and said, let me know when you're going to be Dan Tortora again. Let me know when he's coming back. And after I did that, I called my dad. I said, I can't work here anymore. My dad was like, well, you got to have another job before you leave this one. And I respect and I appreciate that advice. And I told him, I said, Dad, I can't be here anymore. Every single day, I'm working for a place that doesn't want me to be who I am. I don't want to be here with these people anymore. And when I started my business, I had to come to terms with the fact of like, these people lied to me. They lied to me. They lied to my face. They wasted my time. They laughed in my face. And they expected me to just be a donkey, to just be a mule for them. They expected me to work 10 times what I get paid and be okay with it. To have 7 jobs when I'm paid for like an eighth of one. And they thought that that was fine, and they thought that that was normal. They ignored me. They laughed at me, and then they finally looked me in the eye and said, yeah, we're going to do this, right? We're going to keep doing what we're doing, which was nothing that was promised, nothing that was their word. And that was that. We don't feel like it. That was the answer. We're not going to do it because we don't want to. It wouldn't have pained them to do it. It wouldn't have hurt them to do it. They just didn't want to. And when you look at your life and you wake up this morning and you look around, I don't look at all the stuff that I own. I don't look at all the things that I have. I look up at God. I think to myself, put your phone down. Thank you, God, for waking me up this morning. Thank you, God, for giving me life. Thank you for waking up Lily. Please wake up all of my loved ones if they're not up already. And wake up their loved ones and their loved ones' loved ones. And may everybody wake up today to have a beautiful, wonderful life that's long, that's fun, that goes by slowly. May people be healthy. May animals, trees, everything. May everyone be healthy, safe, happy, at the very least to be with you and to be themselves. May we have all your gifts to do your will and be well today, tonight, and so on. Whether we're traveling, staying put, or both, may we heal completely and for good. And no matter what, may we heal through you, God, and handle well whatever comes our way, in and out of our control. And may we be safe and sound and together, even in death, because dying, Jesus, you destroyed our death, and rising, you restored our life. In Jesus' most precious name I pray. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. I pray for all of you. I pray for you that hate my guts. I pray for you that hate my voice. I pray for you that hate what I'm doing. Hate the success that I've had. Hate the whatever. I pray for everybody. I'm not here to lie, cheat, and steal. I'm not here to waste time. I'm here to enjoy life. I've realized there's things in life that I don't need. And the thing that I wanted the most in my life, having a family, I don't need it. I don't need to have a wife and kids. I don't need to chase love and accept it from literally anybody. What I realized in my life, and I've realized today, is the things that I thought I needed the most to get by, to be okay, I don't need them. I may want them, but I don't need them. My house is here. I take care of it. Can always do a better job, but I take care of it. I wash my own clothes. I wash my dishes. I can cook. I can bake. I take care of my Lily, my little pup, my love, my daughter. I feed her, let her outside. I can pack my own suitcase. I can brush my own teeth. I've realized that getting up in the morning and putting my feet on the ground, that's a blessing. Opening my eyes, that's a blessing. Having the cognitive ability to come up with a thought, that's a blessing. Have a heart that still beats, that's a blessing. Feel better in areas where I didn't feel that great, that's a blessing. Have people that show up for you like last night, Al Romano, Bill Cook, Jeff Cook, Jimmy Delia, and so on and so forth, that's a blessing. Jim Delia Sr. Having a mom and dad that are alive and still celebrate with you and still reminisce, and having lunch with them yesterday and they're reminiscing about their favorite moments about you when you were a kid, telling you these stories. That's a blessing. I thought I needed. When I was a little kid, I'm like, I got to be on ESPN. I got to have a wife. I got to have kids. I was on ESPN radio in 3 different states, and I love the experience, but I love working for myself more. I chose to do this. I wasn't forced into it. I wasn't fired into it. I wasn't lied into it. I wasn't left with it. I chose to start my own business. I chose to leave traditional radio when traditional radio was still the normal thing to do, and podcasting was foreign to people. Internet radio was fake. It was never going to work. I went into it with people laughing and probably thinking I was insane, saying that my business wasn't real, saying horrible things about me and horrible things about the path that I chose. But I chose it anyway because I wanted certain things growing up, and I realized I didn't need it. I can broadcast anywhere for anyone at any time and be successful because it's me. It's the heart that I have. It's the beliefs that I have. It's the faith that drives me. It's God by my side. It's the talent that he blessed me with. It's not where I am. It's who I am. It's not who I'm with. It's who I am. It's not what I have. It's who I am. And once you realize that there's so many things in your life that you think you have to have, you have to. You need it. You start to realize that there's a lot of things you want, but you can live without them. You don't have to have a husband and a wife, a girlfriend and a boyfriend. You don't have to have kids. You don't have to have money and cars and notoriety. You have to, in my opinion, you have to have peace. You have to have love. You have to be able to give love and receive it. You have to have a backbone. You have to have thick skin. Well, Dan, everybody's got a backbone. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you got to be strong. You got to have thick skin. You have to be willing to listen and not just to speak. You have to be willing to learn every day. You have to know you're not always going to be right. You have to have your faith over your fear. You have to have perseverance and determination. Those are things you have to have. But you don't need. There's a lot of things we think we have that we don't need. Gandhi said, and I might be paraphrasing here, but he said, you can chain down my body, but you can't chain down my spirit. I see that every day in Jimmer Sikowski. There's things that he probably thought in his life he had to have. And now I see the same Jimmer every day. I see the same, I see the facial expressions, the words, the thoughts, the feelings. They're all the same. I don't see Jimmer going through ALS. I see Jimmer. I don't know him for his adversity. I know him for his strength. I don't know him for things out of his control. I know him for the things he can control. I don't know him for the toughness of life. I know him for how tough he is in response to life. Realize, folks, we think we need so much. But in and out of the Bible, things have been taken away from people or they don't have them yet and they have to be patient. And what I've realized from my own life and the lives of those I love and some stories that I know is if God takes it all away, did he really take it all away? If the world takes a lot away, did they take away the stuff that you want, or did they take away the stuff that you need? Because if you are awake today and you're alive and breathing, God believes that you have what you need, the opportunity to go get it as well. So as hard as life may be right now in this moment, don't give up. Don't stop pushing. Don't stop trying. Don't stop believing in yourself. Don't stop believing in God. May today be the day that you say, I'm going to rise above my adversity. I'm going to rise above my problems. I'm going to work on solving them. As human beings, we love to gossip. We love rumor mills. We love to talk. But how many of us like to do? When our friend sits down and goes, you wouldn't believe this person at work. Oh my gosh, on Monday, on Tuesday, on Wednesday, on Thursday, today, they do this, they do this, they do this, they do this. How many of us say, hey, let's solve the problem. Let's figure out how you deal with this drama. Let's see how you deal with this adversity. Let's figure out a solution so that you don't have to go through all this pain and anxiety and worry and waste all your energy. How many of us do that? Versus how many of us are like, tell me what she did today. We feed the drama. We feed the negative energy. We feed the bad beast. What does that tale of two wolves say? The one that wins is the one that you feed. So feed kindness, passion, love, goodness, empathy, generosity, faith, humbleness. Feed the good. Don't feed the drama, negativity, notoriety, power, prestige, money, things. You don't have to feed that. Because no matter how much money you have, you will never have peace. No matter how many things you have or how pretty they are, it's not going to make you a better person. Some of the poorest people or some of the people that are in the toughest of situations have the kindest hearts. Why is that? Because they've chosen that their circumstance will not define who they are. And God bless the people that have realized that. I hope you do today. We'll take a step aside for a fast break. God bless the people who realize that who they are has nothing to do with their circumstance. that who you choose to be should be regardless of what adversity you face. If anything, it should make you better, not worse. Don't be defined by your circumstance. Be defined by who you have chosen to be. Pure heart, good intentions, you're never going to fail, even when you think you do. I promise you. Follow God around the corner. Something good's coming. Lead, learn, evolve, ad-lib, and deliver. Proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Rd in Cicero, New York. Also bringing you The Light Between Us, where I get to speak with team members at Chick-fil-A Cicero and learn their story and give you that positive energy to help you throughout your day. And 2 of those stories are coming up here this month, and I can't wait to release those to you very shortly. We'll be back right after this with the top dog of the week. Avicoli's, located on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, has been your trusted neighbor for decades. Located just steps from Liverpool High School, we're happy to have the Liverpool Warriors on-site, on-location broadcast at Avicoli's through Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora every single month, featuring student athletes, coaches, and administration throughout the year from Liverpool High School. Head out to Avicoli's today on the corner of Route 57 and Wetzel Road in Liverpool, New York, open Tuesday through Sunday for lunch, dinner, and drinks. We'd love to see you out there. And of course, you can call them at 315-622-5100 for takeout, delivery, and catering. That's 315-622-5100. And also find them on myavicolis.com. That's myavicollis.com. Having peace of mind when you're out of town that your furry-loving friend is safe and sound means taking them to Canine Kampground, because we all know that when it comes to the love of our pets, it goes well beyond the call of duty to make sure they're safe and sound. Right, Lily? So take a ride to 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, New York, and see Canine Kampground and where your dog will be staying in the classic cabin, the executive cabin, the grand cabin, or of course the luxury cabin, because if you know Lily, you know she loves luxury. Now you don't have to wait to the last minute to find a family member or a friend that'll take your dog for a few days. Call Canine Kampground at 315-299-4013. That's 315-299-4013. Their drop-off and pickup times are Monday through Sunday. Check K9Kampground.com for more information. That's the letter K, the number 9, and Kampground spelled with a K.com. K9Kampground.com.
When you're going out of town, bring your dog to Canine Kampground.
Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life. It is time for us to get into the top dog of the week. Top dog of the week is brought to you every single Friday, proudly presented by the fantastic team led by Lorraine Perry and Chad and the whole group over at Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding. The daycare coming to you on 228 Old Bridge Street in East Syracuse, New York, and the campground on 242 Johnson Street in East Syracuse, right around the corner from the daycare. Our top dog of the week for this week. Man, who's it going to be? Well, to all the kids out there, I got a couple top dogs of the week. One of my top dogs is Santa, because Santa's coming to town. Were you good? Were you nice to people? Were you nice to dogs? Were you nice to nature? Were you nice to cats and animals of all kinds? Are you a nice person? Are you doing your homework? Are you getting your sleep? Are you eating your vegetables and your fruits? All these things that you think are weird rules that your parents have. I'll tell you, when you're 39 years old, you're like, man, I should eat more vegetables. I should eat more fruit. You know, I could be nicer to people. I could do this. I can do that. So, kids, Santa's coming to town. And I really hope that you're excited. Not for the things, but that you're just excited for the spirit. I still believe in Santa Claus. And some of you might think that's crazy. I believe in the spirit of Christmas. I believe that there are things that happen, miracles that happen from St. Nicholas by the grace of God during the year and during Christmas time that we can't explain. How did this happen exactly the way that it happened? how did the snow come at this time? How did this music play in this moment? How did I bump into this person and meet this person at this moment in my life? I do believe in Santa Claus. I believe in the spirit of Christmas. No matter how old you get, kids, never, ever think that Christmas miracles can't happen. My other top dog of the week, I would have to say, shout out to the Syracuse Orange football team. I was at the dart party. Fran Brown asked me to be his guest of honor, and I appreciate that. I had to drive up from Binghamton, so it took a while. It was like an hour, a little over an hour. Then I had to drive up because I was down in Binghamton working with men's and women's basketball. And I got up to the party, and I spoke with some of the coaches. And Jeff Nixon, the offensive coordinator, said to me, there's not a single player on our team that's on our roster that's here that opted out. There's not a single player on our team that has opted out of the bowl game. And I said, wow. And Jeff Nixon put his finger up and he pointed over to Fran. He goes, and that's a testament to that guy. No one opted out of the bowl game. Nobody said, I'm going to go to the NFL. I'm going to sit. I don't want to play. I'm going to sit. They're all playing. They're all playing. So I want to shout out this Syracuse Orange football team in its entirety to these student athletes for not quitting on each other, for not quitting on their season, and for thinking of others above themselves. When you have a team that hasn't opted out, which is not always easy to find these days, that at least one person or 10 people or whatever haven't opted out of it, the fact that the Syracuse Orange are playing in the bowl game, not opting out of the bowl game, not this guy is or that guy is, but that they actually want to play, including the guys that might have aspirations for the NFL. I respect that. I respect it. I'm happy that it represents my hometown. And I appreciate the guys. So you're all my top dogs of the week, because how many times do we see that in today's collegiate climate that we don't have people opting out? How many times do we see that happen? So kudos to the Syracuse Orange football team. Kudos to you being a family over the individual, for you being a sum of your parts and not just a whole bunch of individuals doing whatever the heck you want to do. Thank you for representing each other as a family. Thank you for not being selfish. Thank you for not being egotistical and only concerned with your wants and your needs. Thank you for thinking of each other. Thank you for playing with each other and for each other. And thank you for making it worth it to travel across the country to go to San Diego. Because if this guy's sitting out and that guy's sitting out and this guy's sitting out and that guy's sitting out, it would have felt different. I'm still going to stay true, and if I can make it, I'm going to make it because that's who I am. But it's so much nicer to know that the Kyle McCords of the world and the Trevor Peñas of the world and the Marlo Waxes and so on and so forth, that if they can get out there and they can play, that they're going to play. No opt-outs on the current roster. The Syracuse Orange will actually play their bowl game. We can't say that about Washington State on the other side. We can't say that about Marshall, who abandoned a bowl game, which I think is just completely wrong. I understand the team might be going through stuff and this, that, and the third, but you don't bail on somebody. But shout out to Louisiana Tech for stepping up. I credit and I appreciate the Syracuse football team as top dogs of the week. Because in a world of opt-outs, in a world of me, in a world of selfishness, in a world of what can I get as opposed to what can we get, y'all are showing me that this is still football. This is still a family. This is still a sport. And this is still playing something that you loved growing up as a kid. So shout out to the Syracuse Orange football team. We don't opt out in orange. How about that? We'll take a step aside for a fast break. We'll be back momentarily with Mark Neville, CEO of the Directv Holiday Bowl, right after this.
Here's a message from Renee from Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York. Open Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and Sundays for brunch.
It's a lot like the way that my mom and dad ran their restaurant. We have put in place a lot of people that are family to us, very similar to how my dad hired people that were family to him. And then the tradition I'm carrying on is a lot of the items that are on our menu are my dad's. And he taught our chefs how to recreate his dishes. So I think that Tommy McNerney, who our executive chef is, to him it is an art. And I think that when he does create a dish, it's not just about making the food taste delicious, which is definitely our priority, but it's an art to him, and it's almost like his canvas on a plate where he just wants the colors to look great, and people love it because he takes pride in that. And Bryan and I appreciate that. We want it to obviously look good and taste good. I will tell you, when we opened up, it was 6 weeks before COVID. And what was amazing was the community, our friends and family stepped up, and everybody did takeout. Everybody supported us. Our hearts were just so filled. So to Bryan and I, obviously our friends come all the time, and we just have repeat customers in Jamesville, and I think people going to our previous restaurant in Green Lakes are making the trip to come to Bryan's Landing to support us. And I mean, I think we have great food and a great atmosphere. So it's very, very important to us.
Head to Bryan's Landing, located on 6523 East Seneca Turnpike in Jamesville, New York, where memories have become recipes that are now meals to share with you. Tuesdays and Wednesdays for dinner, Thursday through Saturday for lunch and dinner, and on Sundays for brunch. And be sure to come out for live music Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Here is a special message from Brian Bruno, owner of Servomation Refreshments Incorporated.
I grew up in the family business, had the experience of working for a national food service company with thousands of employees, and as much as I enjoyed the experience I had, there was something about, owning my own company and being able to change the things I saw wrong with the industry firsthand, which is why I moved back to my hometown in Canastota, New York to launch Servomation. It was back in 2007. When we first started the business in 2007, really you didn't find any machines with credit card readers. There's a lack of variety in machines. You got stuck with basically whatever the vending company wanted to sell that day. There's a lot of inefficiencies in the business, and those were all things that we saw as opportunities, both from a customer level to improve and from an operating level to be more efficient. We've really been at the forefront of introducing retail technology into our space. We were doing self-checkout back in 2009 before it really became a national phenomenon. The whole point of it isn't to just improve the customer experience. It's to make it feel more like a retail environment where people don't have to be afraid of what they're buying behind glass. They don't have to be afraid of not being able to see the ingredients of the packages. It was an easy transaction from that standpoint. If we were to reinvent something, we wanted to make sure what we were making looked and felt more like a deli and not like something that you would traditionally see in a vending machine. I was tired of hearing for years the customers say the wheel of death because the vending machine would circle around with the same tuna salad in it. What we wanted to do was it really change the perception of that food. So allowing customers to touch it, allowing customers to feel the weight of it, allowing customers to see the freshness of it, and also the variety of it really helps them change the perception and ultimately the value of what we bring to them. The point of differentiation you have to make is either in value or the quality. And I think on both of those fronts, Servomation has really, in large part, changed that value system for employees. So they no longer have to worry about bringing their food from home or having to leave their desk during the day and rush out to get back in time for their break to end. We're bringing something that they can count on in their break room every day, and they know it's going to be there, they know it's going to be fresh, and they don't have to worry about it being sold out or something that they don't enjoy. We've also heavily invested in flavored water water machine, so you can get a glass of water with a fresh piece of fruit in it, along with bean-to-cup coffee machine. So there's not a day that goes by we're not surprised when we get customers that call us and say, we didn't know you could do all this. We're really lucky to have a strong group of dedicated employees. Most of our employees have been with us since inception. They're family to us, and people like doing business with people they like and trust. And I think the same thing goes for employees. In a day and an age where there's a lot of corporations that just look at an employee as a number and don't get to know them, that's just not the way I was raised or how I like to do business. So we're a little old-fashioned. We like getting close to our employees. We like knowing how we can help them. We like knowing how we can improve their lives, adjust their schedules, whatever it may be to help improve their quality of life. And we think in the end that makes for a happier employee. We're fortunate enough to have really grown over the last several years, and from Pennsylvania to Massachusetts to Connecticut, we really do have a strong connection, even though we're not in the rooms every day with these employees. There's not one single employee that we feel like we don't know, and certainly we know they can call us at any time, and they're definitely treated as family to us. I wake up every single day really excited to surprise our customers in a good way. The one thing I could tell you is I think that every one of our employees and every one of our customers will continue to be at the forefront of every decision we make.
Find out how Servomation can help you and your business by going to servomation.com. Welcome back here to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Proud to be here with you where sports meets life. And just like we will be doing next week, we're going to be connecting from the East Coast to the West Coast. And we've done it throughout our time here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora and the wonderful people that have listened to the show and been guests on the show all throughout the north, south, east, and west. We've been across America, and we are going to go across America with my hometown heading out to San Diego to face off against Washington State in the Directv Holiday Bowl. I am picture-in-picture right now with Mark Neville, the CEO of the Directv Holiday Bowl for Syracuse versus Washington State. Mark, it is my honor and my pleasure to have you here this morning. How are you?
Doing fantastic, Dan, and I don't think I was aware that you are a San Diegan, so welcome back home.
Oh, no, not a San Diego. We've just reached out to people on both sides of the country, so we built a lot of inroads in California. One of my closest friends and somebody I consider like another dad to me, he is over in San Diego. He's been spending a lot of time out there and a lot of work with the University of San Diego as well, so it'll be nice to see him. I hear that your weather is perfect. I hear San Diego is utopia, Mark?
It's pretty darn close to it. I think we're a little too close to it and take it for granted a lot. But I was surfing yesterday morning. I plan on surfing tomorrow morning. We got sunny weather. It looks like for the next foreseeable future, we don't have any rain in the forecast, and got some sunny skies and probably 70-degree weather during bowl week.
So for you, Mark, I mean, how did you, was this always home, this area, or did you end up out there? What's the journey been like for you to where we are today with you being the CEO of the Directv Holiday Bowl?
It's a pretty boring story, actually. I've grown up in Southern California, just north of LA, south of Santa Barbara, a town called Ventura. And went to school at UC San Diego, has some of the best surf in the world. There's this beach there called Black's Beach. And I probably shouldn't admit it, but that's the reason I went to UC San Diego. And then got an internship at this place called the Holiday Bowl 34 years ago, and no one else will take me. So I've stuck around, and as people have retired and moved on, I've kind of elevated my way up to today where I'm lucky enough to be able to have this job as CEO of the Directv Holiday Bowl.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, 34 years and being within this, like you said, coming in at the ground level and working your way up and through it. We live in a world where a lot of people call it the microwave society. They get somewhere, they want something to happen immediately. I'm in the ground level. I'm an intern. I'm going to be the CEO tomorrow. You worked your way up this. You know what it takes to go through this and have this journey and have this story of your own of hard work, dedication, and determination, and showing up, which is more than half the battle. What can you say to living that truth and living that story, and how you can impart that on other people, that if you want to get somewhere in life, you got to put in the time, you got to put in the work, and you got to believe in yourself?
Yeah, I'm there's a lot of luck involved, of course, as there is oftentimes, but the one thing that I did do when I got out of school and started the internship here, and I was working a lot of other jobs too to make ends meet, and um, just I did whatever it took to get a job done, and that was noticed by our board of directors, our other volunteers. We're we're a nonprofit, we're a volunteer driven organization, and our leadership at the time recognized that, I guess, fortunately for me. Hard work goes a long way. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I surround myself with people who are. And uh, I'm really lucky to have this job. I owe a lot of what I have today. I met my wife through this job, so I have my kids, my home, most of my friends are affiliated with this job. It's funny you even call it a job. I love this place. Been with it for 34 years. I care deeply about it. Probably take it a little bit too personally sometimes, because the bowl system is under attack quite a bit right now. Understandably so, but what we're doing here is really great work. We do this for our community. It's put on by people in the San Diego community for the San Diego community. Been around since 1978. We pride ourselves on our hospitality for the student athletes, for the bands, for the cheer squads, for the official parties from the schools, for the fans themselves. We do our best to roll out the red carpet for everyone who comes here, and for the local fans as well. Very proud of what we've created here. We've with all the changes in college athletics, we've had to really transform who we are. Yeah. So we've done that. We've added a lot to our program. We started the Rady Children's Invitational. It's a college basketball tournament over Thanksgiving. Purdue just won the championship over Thanksgiving against Ole Miss. Also had BYU and NC State in the tournament as well. So we do that. We also have taken on the California State Games, and now we also serve as the sports commission for San Diego to bring tourism driving sporting events here. This last summer, we brought the All Blacks and Fiji to play at Snapdragon Stadium, where the game will be on Friday night, in a great rugby match. We've had Manchester United here the last couple summers. So we've really changed who we are, but the anchor event remains the Directv Holiday Bowl.
Here with Mark Neville, the CEO of the Directv Holiday Bowl, this morning on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. And we are a week from that matchup here, as we're here on a Friday morning on the 20th, and we have this game set for Friday, December 27th at 5 p.m. on the West Coast and 8 p.m. Eastern Time on the East Coast. Mark, as you spoke about, you've had to develop and ad-lib and adjust and do different things with the bowl climate that we have. The notion of there's 40-plus bowls, there's way too many, the thought of how some people kind of laugh it off or say, if you're not playing for a national championship, it doesn't matter. How do you combat that? I know here on the show, I have things that I've learned from covering teams across the country of all of the positives that come from being in any bowl game and all of those things that it gives to a school, that it gives to a community. But I don't want to load the question with what I say. What do you say to there's 40-plus bowls, they're all over the place, what is the meaning of them? What's the point of them? How do you respond to that in an ever-changing climate with the college football playoff?
The changes that we've seen and things that have impacted us as a bowl system, we have the early signing deadline, we have the transfer portal, we have NIL, we have an expanding college football playoff. There's a lot of things that play against us, but we're a pretty resilient group. And the reason for it is, talk to those student athletes who are playing in our games and the experiences that they get when they come to our communities. And we're not alone in this, but here in San Diego with our bowl game, this is a celebration of our community. It's a celebration of college football. It's a celebration of the two teams and the fan bases that are coming to San Diego. A lot of people do opt out of these games. The transfer portal does minimize what the team was during the regular season oftentimes, but not always. Last year I think we had an interesting situation. We had USC and Louisville in the game. Caleb Williams opted not to play in the game. And what it did, it created an opportunity for a little-known quarterback, Miller Moss, who played in our game. And I would argue that the way that USC played that game, it was their best team game of the entire year. Miller Moss ended up throwing 6 touchdowns. He broke a long-time Holiday Bowl record. I think the players on his team realized they needed to step it up with the absence of Caleb, and it was their best team win of the year. It really is hard. You know, football is a team sport, and one reason I love it so much is that it is the ultimate team sport.
Yeah.
And you know, the opt-outs, I don't like them at all. You know, I think that when players opt out, I understand, you know, that they're looking to extend their future into the NFL. But a lot of times, you know, you have agents and things like that telling these kids that and I'm not throwing a blanket over all agents, because there's a lot of good ones out there, but there's a lot of them that lead their clients, if you will, down the wrong path. You know, when a player opts out, it not only it will impact them potentially with their future, but think of their teammates, you know, who they've been playing with all season long. There may be players that need to have a great game also for their own prospects, but now with somebody leaving the game, it hurts them, you know. And so I think opt-outs, I'm not a fan of them at all. The transfer portal, the timing of it is not good. But that all being said, you know, these games are still celebrations of community, of college football. I'm really proud of the role that the Directv Holiday Bowl plays in college football. You know, the bowl system has been a part of college football for over a century now, and it is the traditions are thick and undeniable, and you know, and so we have a great history here in San Diego for the fans that are going to be coming west to support Syracuse Orange and the great season that they've had. I think they're going to be in quite a show, and they're going to have a memorable time here in San Diego. So, you know, the bowl system is is being threatened. There's no doubt about it. But things will have to change. They have to. You know, it's not really a sustainable model right now at all for the long term. I'm excited for watching the games this weekend and everything too in the college football playoff. But there is also an important role for the bowl system as well.
Yeah, and when you look at the bowl system and the importance of that, the fact of extra practices, the fact of guys that are going to be on the team for the future getting an opportunity to get out there, get reps going into next season, the money that goes to the schools, the opportunities for that. I know that, you know, going to a bowl game, like you said, the different events that you have that Navy tour connection to the Directv Holiday Bowl, going to SeaWorld, there's different fan events that go, there's gifts that are given by the bowls. So there is a lot more to this than simply just, well, it's another game, it's not in the college football playoff. And that's what I've said to people, you know, in the community over the years across the country and outside of the country, is when you go to a bowl game, all of the practices that you get, the notoriety, the connection, the ability to build with alumni, the ability to build your brand, the money that comes in, the gifts individually to the players, the experiences, and the opportunity for next season and that early planning, that extension of your season that not everybody has. Those are all things that go into the greater good for these colleges and universities that places like the Directv Holiday Bowl provide for these institutions.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you saying that, Dan. And there's also a perception out there that, you know, bowl games are making a ton of money, you know, and we're a nonprofit, and trust me, we are not making money on the Directv Holiday Bowl. You know, we do it because it drives tourism to San Diego, which is really important. It's the second largest industry in San Diego, behind only our military. And you know, we are not making money on this game, I can assure you, and many other bowl games are not either. And it's even harder now because the media does create this perception that the bowl games don't matter, and many in the public have accepted that. I think it's false. These games do matter, and you can just ask the kids that are playing in the games. And for our community, like I can't tell you how excited for the Orange who are coming to San Diego next week. They're going to see a lot of people wearing red coats, and the red coats are our ambassadors. They're the Holiday Bowl red coats. They're very popular here in San Diego. And they take so much pride in this game. You know, they want fees, the players, the bands, the cheer squads, the official party. They want them to have the most memorable and best bowl experience they've ever had. And it's really, and I said earlier, I do take it a little bit personally, and I do, but it is because I believe in it so much. And it's disappointing that money has really is starting to take over the sport. That is what's driving so many decisions, not only in college football but in college athletics. And we're seeing it even in the basketball world. There's this NIL event out in Las Vegas, the Players Era event, offering $1 million to teams. And we've had 3 of our teams from our tournament. We've only played 2 years, and 3 of our teams have been coached by that tournament out in Las Vegas, the Players Era event. And it's all money driven. And we've even heard teams telling us like they don't want to do it, but they don't want to be left behind either. So it's too bad. Money has taken over. Is really driving the ship in college athletics. We're one bowl game out here in San Diego. We're not going to be able to change that. But we're going to just continue doing what we've always done and put on a great bowl game, a great experience for everyone who's involved in it. And again, our volunteers, our red coats, I'm not just saying this, they're the best in the business. And they're the best in the business because they are still and remain passionate about what we're doing.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, looking at things and caring about things beyond the money, caring about the experience, caring about the help to the community. And, I will say that word still travels. San Diego, here on the East Coast, and really, I mean, whenever I've talked to anyone about San Diego, the response is positive. For you to be out there, to be in this city, to be in this environment, to be in this community, to someone who's never been to San Diego, you talked about, I went surfing yesterday, I'm going to go surfing today. How would you describe the community that is San Diego, the world that is? I mean, we see them from afar when the Chargers were in San Diego. We, hear about this utopia. We hear about the weather, how beautiful it is. In my case, I have a good friend that went out there years ago, and it's snowing in Syracuse and it's 12 degrees and it's 75 over there, and he just took a jog on the pier. So how would you describe San Diego to someone who's never been to the community?
It's hard for me, because I've lived in Southern California my whole life, right? And so I'll be the first to admit I take it for granted. But I can't imagine that there is, and I say this, and I mean this, I don't think there's a city in the world that has a better year-round climate than San Diego. It never gets too hot, and it never gets too cold. And yeah, I'm able to go surfing 365 days a year. And today, the sun's just coming up, and it's going to be a sunny, beautiful, clear sky day for us. And at the same time, several times I've surfed and skied in the same day. 2 hours from here, we can be skiing. And so it's a pretty unique place. We're bordered. We got Mexico. Where I sit right now in our office, I'm about 15 miles from Mexico. So we have that on the south. In the east, we have mountains. In the west, we have the Pacific Ocean. And then in the north, we have Camp Pendleton, a Marine Corps base. And the thing that is also very noticeable here and palpable for people who come to San Diego is that this is a military town. It's the largest concentration of military service members in the world. And very proud of our Navy, Marine Corps, Coast Guard, and then the others who are here as well. That is very evident as you're landing into San Diego. I always encourage people to get on the left side of the airplane as they're coming in, because you can see all the fleet of Navy ships in San Diego Bay. And then just before you touch down, right on the left side is the United States Coast Guard Station. And as you're landing, you're also flying right next to the buildings of downtown San Diego as well. And you'll see the palm trees and the cruise ships and all sorts of stuff. I mean, it is a pretty magical place. Yeah. It's expensive here, to live. It definitely is expensive. If my wife and I told you, again, this is a nonprofit, not making a ton of money. But my wife and I, in 1997, we bought our first home together. I was making $20,000 a year. She was making $20,000 a year. And the house at the time was $164,000. And we're like, how are we can't do this. This is ridiculous. Thank goodness we did, because if we didn't buy that house at this time, we're probably not here in San Diego anymore. It is an expensive place to live, but I can't see myself living anywhere else in the world.
Yeah. And you mentioned the connection to the military, and you talk about the Navy, and this sits right off camera that I look at every single day. This is my grandfather on my mom's side, my grandpa Cavino, and his name is, you can still see his name inside of here. This is his naval hat from the academy when he served in World War II for Thomas Archibald
awesome.
Cavino. And that sits right over here. So when you're talking about the Navy and you're speaking about all this stuff, and I'm seeing the Navy tour, I will be home for Christmas Eve and Christmas with Mom and Dad, but flying out right after that to come over to you. So I did see the Navy tour, and I was like, man, I wish I could be there for that. But I do look forward to the opportunity of getting out there. Love the connection to the military, and I love the opportunity for you to paint that picture here, Mark. The game that we have itself, Syracuse Washington State. I was just at a party that Fran Brown threw called the Dart Party, and the coaching staff said to me, no one on the roster at Syracuse has opted out. That we're seeing it all over the country. Kyle McCord's not opted out. Like none of the guys that people were hoping and wishing to see. I mean, the leading quarterback in the country, yardage-wise, is going to be there at your bowl game at the Directv Holiday Bowl. On the other side of it, Washington State goes through a coaching change. They lose their head coach, staff members, 20-plus players. How have you navigated through that you got one team on one side that says, we're coming, and we're coming with who we've had all season for the most part, and then Washington State saying, well, we're also going to be coming. We're not going to do what Marshall did, but we're going to look different.
We're looking at the players and the coaches who are coming from both teams. From Washington State, you mentioned coaching issue or coaching impacts and players not going into the transfer portal. But you know what? They still have a lot of players on that team. They're football players who are coming. These are guys who they realize the opportunity they have in front of them. They're still great football players. They know what happened last year in our game with Miller Moss. Not a lot of people knew who he was, and he threw 6 touchdown passes. The players who have remained, the starters, they know they have to step up, just like players on USC's team did last year. They know they have to step up and be their very best. I've received a lot of messages from them that they are coming here to play, and they're coming here to win a game. At the same time, they know that they've got quite a challenge because they're facing one of the very best teams in the country. And from everything I've seen, the Syracuse Orange are coming here to win a game. This is a business trip. They want to get that 10th win, and Washington State stands in their way. I do not think Washington State's going to be a pushover. I think, again, they're football players who love to play football. The players who are coming here love football. And I am very confident they are going to put on a good show, and they're going to put up a good fight to Syracuse. Now, that said, Syracuse is a really good football team, and so they're going to have their work cut out for them. But the Directv Holiday Bowl, if you look at our history, early on in our life as a bowl game, we got tabbed with this called America's Most Exciting Bowl Game, and it's because we do have a knack for putting these games together. We have zero control over how these games are going to be played, but we tend to have high scoring down to the wire finishes, and I do believe. I don't know what the outcome is going to be, but I do believe there's going to be a lot of points scored in this football game.
Yeah, and for you, like you said, in recent history, Caleb Williams opted out and getting ready for the NFL, but in this case, Kyle McCord does not. So knowing what he's done, knowing that this man throughout the season has led the nation in multiple categories, being first in the nation in a couple different categories, being in the top 4. He finished in the Heisman top 10. I don't think he finished high enough, and I'm not saying because Syracuse is my hometown. I'm saying
the Davey O'Brien Award going to Cam Ward when he beat Cam Ward head-to-head and he has more yards than Cam Ward, and then Cam Ward going to New York City for the Heisman, and in the same conference of the ACC, Kyle McCord had more yards and, again, had that victory head-to-head. He leads Syracuse all-time in single-season passing touchdowns now, passing Ryan Nassib. He leads them in single-season passing yards, passing Ryan Nassib as well. So to know that this year you have that quarterback, you have that guy with a chip on his shoulder, you have that guy that knows what it's like to be at the top of the mountain statistically. He's been at Ohio State, so he knows what it's like to be in that national spotlight. He knows what it's like to take a program like Syracuse and try to resurrect them. What does it mean to you that this season you will have one of the best quarterbacks in the country, and to some people, the best quarterback in the country, playing in the game?
Very excited about it. And not only am I excited about it and our organization, but San Diego is excited to see Kyle play in person. Yeah, I mean, it's quite obvious. He's one of the best, if not the best quarterbacks in the country. And he's got a great team around him that's helped him also to be one of the best quarterbacks in the country. All in all, and again, I've said football is a team game. And Kyle McCord obviously is a huge part of the success for Syracuse football. But it's got a bunch of other teammates too who have helped to make this team great this year. Yeah. Capping off the regular season with the win over Miami. No, we're excited to see Kyle McCord and the entire Orange football team here at San Diego and perform next Friday night. They are a perfect Holiday Bowl team. Again, I encourage everybody to look at our history, with the high scoring games that we've had, the players that we've had. We've had a couple Heisman Trophy winners in our game, Barry Sanders and Ty Detmer and Steve Young's been the quarterback list that we've had in our game is pretty spectacular, from Jim McMahon and Steve Young and even Mike Gundy from Oklahoma State, and Ty Detmer, and it's a laundry list of some of the best quarterbacks that have ever played the game. Aaron Rodgers, and I think that Kyle McCord is going to be in that same. He's going to be a part of that list. He's going to be one of the. We anticipate he's going to have a really good game here in San Diego that will be remembered for a long time. But not just Kyle McCord, the entire team, I think, will have a very their experience or their performance here is going to be memorable for a long time. And you know what? And Washington State's going to try to do something about that. Again, I don't want to minimize, because you do hear a lot about all the opt-outs and their quarterback John Mateer moving on to Oklahoma, but they're not on the team anymore. This is a different team. They're football players. They're good football players, and they see this as a giant opportunity. I anticipate they're going to put forward their best effort of the entire season for this game.
Mark Neville here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, the CEO of the Directv Holiday Bowl, that a week from today, Syracuse and Washington State will face off against each other at Snapdragon Stadium. Now, the ACC has 9 bowl affiliations, the Directv Holiday Bowl being one of those affiliations that they have. And on the other side of it, we look at the fact that the Pac-12 logo still alive, name was still alive, but they're putting together a new iteration of what the Pac is going to be for the future. The only teams that are technically in it right now, Washington State and Oregon State. So bring me into the background of choosing this matchup and putting this bowl together for this season. Syracuse is 9-3, Washington State's 8-4. Again, you are an affiliate to the ACC, so there is that connection of bringing in an ACC school. Syracuse ranked in the college football playoff final rankings at 21. They're ranked in the AP, ranked in the coaches poll. Washington State not ranked. How did you put together this specific matchup? Because every year people try to prognosticate where teams are going to go, where they're going to end up. How did we end up with Syracuse and Washington State?
So on the Pac-12 side, so since the playoff expanded early, we were in the middle of a cycle with all of the bowl arrangements with their conference partners. So there were 2 years left, 24 and 25 left on the current cycle. And so rather than disrupting the entire industry, and I totally agreed with this, is that for the current and former Pac-12 teams and the current and former Pac-12 bowl games, don't change it up. So this year, for example, we still had access to every team that was in the Pac-12 last year. So as we were going into this weekend, our championship weekend, there were really three teams that were in our picture. It was Arizona State out of the Pac-12. It was Arizona State, Colorado, and Washington State. And where we are in the selection order in the Pac-12 is that we get the second pick after the CFP game. So Washington or Oregon and Arizona State went to the CFP games into the playoff. The Alamo Bowl gets the first pick. They selected Colorado, and then we get the second pick. And we can pick any team that's within one loss of the best team. So, for example, we had the opportunity to take any team that was 8-4, because the next best team was Washington State 8-4, or any team that was 7-5. Well, there were no teams that were 7-5. The rest of the teams were 6-6. And so for us, and not that we would have taken anybody else anyway, but it just the way it worked out, Washington State was our team for this year. And we're generally a team that gets at least one top 25 team. Oftentimes we get two top 25 teams. And just because we're one of the higher tiered bowl games, after the playoff, you got a series of games, and I'd say I think our payout of the 35 remaining bowl games outside of the playoff, I think we're number 6 or 7 in payout, maybe a little higher than that even. And so that's why we have a higher selection order.
And on Syracuse's side, how did it work with the ACC in that affiliation?
Yeah, and so on the ACC, we're what's considered a premier tier bowl game. And so after the playoffs take their teams, there's a pool of teams that come into that are available for that premier team to select from. And so it's us, it's the Pop-Tarts Bowl, and it's the Gator Bowl. And so that's how it worked out that Miami went to the Pop-Tarts Bowl, and then Duke went down to the Gator Bowl, and then we got Syracuse to come out here, which we were really excited about. You talked about, you were touting the team's accomplishments, and they're a perfect Holiday Bowl team. A high-scoring team, an amazing quarterback, great supporting staff. Coach Brown is awesome. Like, I've watched several of the games, and I love the fire he has, and we were really excited. When I came home, I was in Charlotte for the ACC championship game, and I was there when we had going through the selection process. And when I got on that airplane to come home, I was very, very happy that the Syracuse Orange were going to be following me out here in a couple weeks' time.
That coming here from Mark Neville. Mark, before I let you go, was there ever, like you said, between the premier affiliations for the ACC and bowl games, is there a back and forth with the Pop-Tarts Bowl and the Gator Bowl with the Holiday Bowl of saying, like, okay, Duke would make sense for us, wouldn't really make sense for us. What about Miami? Is there kind of a meeting of minds, so to speak, or how does that kind of, when you talk about the premiers, does somebody get first take, and then it goes down from there? How does it work out that the teams ended up where they ended up?
It is a discussion, and going into it, we really don't know how it's going to work out, but there's, the 3 bowl games are represented, the conference office is represented in it, and it is a discussion. And then when everything shakes out, this is the way it shook out, and it changes every year. Last year in 2023, it was interesting because Florida State, got dropped out of being one of the final 4 teams. So they went into the Orange Bowl, and that kind of shook everything up. So going into it, we never really know what's going to happen. This year it was who was going to get that final playoff spot. Was it going to be SMU, or was it going to be Alabama? When SMU got it, it changed things in our tier as well. So there's a lot of discussion that takes place, but I think all in all it worked out. We're happy about it, and we're excited to welcome Syracuse here on Monday. The team flies in Monday, and we're going to get going. And one thing I can promise them is that our Holiday Bowl Redcoats that I reference are going to put on a show for them and make it absolutely the best bowl trip that they've ever had.
Well, I think it's amazing. I mean, even reaching not just to the players, but I want to let people know the Directv Holiday Bowl for you and your staff reaching out to us in the media about the Navy tour, about SeaWorld, about these different things that are going on. So I want to give you
credit. I will say also, Dan, for fans who are coming out, we go over and above on our game night experience. I don't think there is a better experience at the football game. Everything. We have a free fan zone for everybody outside the stadium. Then our pregame show hasn't changed in 48 years. 45 years. It's a celebration and a tribute to our local military community with skydivers and flyovers and a giant American flag and the university marching bands, of course. A sailor from USS Tripoli, which is the ship that the football teams are going to be touring, will be singing the national anthem. Our halftime show is spectacular. And then post-game, we have this thing called the 101 KGB Sky Show. It's the biggest fireworks show west of the Mississippi. 22 minutes long, set to classic rock and roll, simulcast throughout the county of San Diego. People line the Mission Valley where Snapdragon Stadium is. They line it just to watch it. So fans that are coming out here are in for quite a treat, and the weather is going to be absolutely perfect on game day. So there's still time. If fans still want to go to the school website, athletics department website, get those tickets, make those arrangements, and you will not regret it. You'll have the time of your lives. I'm a procrastinator on getting Christmas presents. I know it's an expensive Christmas presents with flights and things like that, but you would not regret it because it's an amazing show.
And I appreciate you sharing that because, taking a look at Snapdragon Stadium, obviously the home of the San Diego State Aztecs and all that. I mean, a beautiful stadium. Kind of some cool background to me, Mark, really quick here, is that my favorite flower growing up as a kid was the Snapdragon. And I loved them because they had those mouths that would open up and they're all different colors. And my dad loves to go out and garden, and he loves to do landscaping for fun, and he would bring me to the flower shop and we'd be walking around and he would say, "What do you want?" And I would always go over to the Snapdragons, and if they didn't have Snapdragons, then that day I'm like, "Oh, Dad, I don't really want anything. I can't pick anything else." So when I looked at the name of the stadium, I said, wow, God continues to work in purposeful ways to bring me to Snapdragon Stadium. So with that being said, 2 final notes here. One of them being, you talked about the bowls and the changes, and you have to ad-lib and be able to work with it. I'm a positive person. I'm a glass half full guy. I'm a God-fearing man with faith first. So let's go on the positive side with this. What can we do to protect the bowl season?
It is requiring a lot of outside the box thinking. We can't just, we have to be bold with it. We have to be open-minded about it. I do think there are some easy fixes in the short term. I think the transfer portal not opening until after the championship game, I think is really important. But I think long term for sustainability for the bowl system, I think there needs to be radical changes. And what those are, there definitely have ideas out there. But I think for us as a bowl system to be viable in the long term, it's going to require some major changes and some really good thinking and open-minded. We got to get rid of, there can't be stubborn minds that are making the decisions on all this stuff. And again, it's disappointing that money has really taken over everything in college athletics. But there still are a lot of people who believe in college athletics and for what it really should be and what it was and what it can be. And it's those leaders really need to step up and make a difference, because money is not the answer. It really isn't. And for those coming out here for the game, you'll see that. We take a lot of pride in this game, and we're not alone. I mean, there's a lot of bowl organizations around the country that really take a lot of great pride in what they do, and they should, because they've done great work for decades. And so I do serve on the executive committee for bowl season, and it's a really good group of people, really good minds, and so we have to think outside the box and be open-minded. I've seen ideas come to the table and they just get shut down immediately, and we can't do that anymore. So we'll see what happens, but I am confident, like you, I am an optimist. I am confident that there is a path forward for sure.
Yeah, well, final, and I appreciate that answer. Final and most important question. I've been staring at it the whole time we've been talking. What do I have to do to get a Directv Holiday Bowl sweatshirt?
It's pretty not a bad sweatshirt, right?
Yeah.
These are where we gave these out to our volunteers last year. Well, when you get out here, we can talk.
Okay, fair enough. That coming from Mark Neville here, CEO of the Directv Holiday Bowl. Mark, I know it's the first time you've been on the show, but would definitely like to have you back. Look forward to building our connection and our bonds. I really appreciate the look behind the curtain today, not just for the Directv Holiday Bowl, but for bowl season in general. And I hope that being on that executive committee, that we start to have inroads and doors opening and opportunities abound as we step forward. So would love to have you back on, and looking forward to seeing you in a week, and definitely appreciate the invitation to come out to San Diego.
All right, Dan, we'll see you. In the meantime, have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you out here in sunny San Diego.
You too. Merry Christmas, and enjoy some surfing in my honor today, because I won't be doing that today.
Tomorrow. I can't do it today, but tomorrow I plan on getting in the water with my buddies.
All right. Well, enjoy it and stay safe. We'll see you next week.
All right. Take care.
Take care. That coming once again from Mark Neville here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets life, bringing you this special on the Directv Holiday Bowl, and truly a look behind the scenes. I love that. There was so much meat to that conversation. That's what we're about here on Wake Up Call, is that you're learning something while you're watching and listening, but I am too. I'm not sitting here saying I know everything about the world, and sitting there hearing from Mark, having all of that information about what's going on and different things that are happening, and the whys and the wheres, and how does everything get selected? Because fans were asking that, why is Syracuse in this bowl and not that bowl? How did this happen? What about this matchup? And all these different pieces of it. And Mark answered a ton of these questions that people have been asking for and wanting to know about. So share this with a friend and keep the conversation going on this. And we're going to release this as its own special as well, so that you can go right to my conversation with Mark Neville, CEO of the Directv Holiday Bowl. What a great conversation, and what a great way to end our week and officially be a week from the game here today, as we're here on the 20th. The game's on the 27th. So God bless to all of you out that are going to be traveling. And for anyone that's thinking about doing it, like Mark said, he comes into holiday shopping late and makes those decisions of saying, like, hey, I got last minute holiday shopping, got to find something good. The Directv Holiday Bowl, not a bad bet for you to go out to San Diego, get some great weather, a great experience, honor our military, and see an awesome game between Syracuse and Washington State, with one of the best quarterbacks in the nation playing in this game. We'll take a step aside for a fast break, and we'll round out the show right after this.
Hi, this is Amy from Mother's Cupboard, home of the whole frittata. We are open daily 6 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. For takeout orders, call 315-432-0942 and tune in to Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora for our monthly food challenge, and try our Wake Up Call signature menu item, available 7 days a week. Here at Mother's Cupboard, we are Central New York, and it's our honor to serve you.
Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory remind us that every day is worth celebrating at 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York. Open Monday through Saturday in-store and always online at maandpaspopcorn.com. Serving our Central New York community and beyond, order anywhere, anytime at maandpaspopcorn.com. Stop in to get a tin at Ma and Pa's on 201 7th North Street in Liverpool, New York, to get your half-price refills for the rest of your life. Come to Ma and Pa's for your holiday gift giving for family, friends, employees, and clients. And remember, for fundraising and events, to call 315-450-6272. That's 315-450-6272. Ma and Pa's Kettle Corn and Popcorn Factory. How corny are you?
This is Jimmer Sikowski, owner-operator of Chick-fil-A Cicero, 7916 Brewerton Road in Cicero, right in front of the Home Depot. I had a deep feeling that God wanted me to do something bigger with my life and to help people, help others. I kept putting Chick-fil-A in my life, and I realized as I was going through the franchise selection process that positively impacting the lives of others was really core to what we do here at Chick-fil-A. First of all, it starts with the food. The food is brought in fresh daily, and we bring in local produce. We prepare to order in the kitchen. We hand bread our chicken. We hand spin our milkshakes. It's great food. It doesn't taste like fast food. I think the second thing is the way people feel when they come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. It's different. We try to treat people with intentional kindness here, which is very different and deeper than good customer service. And so I think it feels remarkable for most people to come in a Chick-fil-A restaurant. And then lastly, the impact that we try to have in the community is very different. It's a big part of the expectation of every operator of a Chick-fil-A restaurant is that they're actively engaged in their community, they're a leader in the community, and they're making a difference. When they realize that what we're striving to do is to shine a little light in their life, that's a very, very different experience than you will have in any other quick service restaurant. And it's that remarkable experience that I think people will emotionally connect with.
In these unique times, there are those in our community that give us a sense of normalcy and positivity. Pizza Man on 50 Oswego Street in Baldwinsville has been here for you for over 35 years and is here now. Call 315-638-1234 or order online at pizzamanbville.com to bring those familiar tastes into your home. And remember to come see our monthly on-site broadcasts centered around the community and our Baldwinsville Bees. Pizza Man in Baldwinsville. Any way you slice it, they are always here for you. Looking for your next ride? Look no further than Great Lakes Honda City, located on 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Serving our community for decades, their new and pre-owned vast array of vehicles are available to you Monday through Saturday on site. To search from home, shop at GreatLakesHondaCity.com. Call 315-365-5576 to set up an appointment. That's 315-365-5576 for Great Lakes Honda City, 7140 Henry Clay Boulevard in Liverpool, New York. Great cars, great people, Great Lakes.
All right, you need to come out here and get yourself the Brooklyn Pickle. I was talking about this with one of my buddies. I was like, yo, there's no better sandwich in the state of New York than the Brooklyn Pickle. And now that I found out that they're going down to North Carolina, we are taking over your taste buds everywhere you are, wherever you're gonna be. You need to get yourself out to the Brooklyn Pickle. Pinehurst, you just realized that you found yourself the best sandwich shop that you're ever gonna have. This is a glorious moment. It's a blessing to your community. You're welcome. Brooklyn in the house, baby. Go over to the Brooklyn Pickle. You already know what it is.
You heard the man. Head to Brooklyn Pickle Pinehurst on 1788 Old Morgantown Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina.
Carvel DeWitt, it's what happy tastes like. Do you know why? Because we make ice cream. Creamy, rich, flavorful ice cream. Not yogurt or iced milk like some of our competitors. Ice cream. Fresh, by hand, daily. For the calorie conscious, we have something new for you. Our new Carvelite. Same great flavor, creaminess, and texture of our regular ice cream with only 35 calories an ounce. So whether you want an ice cream cake, flying saucer, dasher, carvalanche, hard or soft ice cream, we will satisfy your craving with our fresh, handmade regular or new Carvelite ice cream. Carvel DeWitt. It's what happy tastes like.
The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is located on 3680 Milton Avenue in the Home Depot Plaza. It is your family-friendly sports bar and restaurant. Folks, some sports bars aren't family-friendly. Some family-friendly restaurants are not sports bars. The Wildcat Sports Pub in Camillus, New York is proud to be both. It is that marriage that you've been looking for years. The Wildcat Sports Pub is your home base for your sports bar and restaurant needs, games for the kids, indoor and outdoor activities, and enough things on the menu to come back every single week and get to try something new. They're open Sundays from noon to 8 p.m., Monday through Wednesday, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., and Thursday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to midnight. For reservations and party information, call 315-487-2222 for the Wildcat family-friendly sports pub and restaurant.
GG Cards and Breaks. Like, comment, subscribe.
GG Cards and Breaks, coming to you on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York, is right here on Tuesday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Sundays open from 10 to 5 off of Teal Avenue on 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse. It is your sports card and trading card headquarters, and it starts with the staff, and it starts with the attention to detail, the knowledge, and above all, the guest service of the staff. Josh, as well as Anthony, Alex, Joel, the entire team at GG Cards and Breaks. Joe on the weekend, shout out to Joe. Much love to the entire staff over at GG Cards and Breaks for all the work that they do. Football, basketball, soccer, hockey, baseball, as well as Disney Lorcana, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, while supplies last, singles, packs, graded cards, boxes, one-of-ones, autographs, rookie patch autos, also known as RPAs, the new arrivals box. You never know what you're going to find at GG Cards and Breaks. It is literally like a scavenger hunt for a kid of any age all throughout the week. I love the scavenger hunt. And what better way to have one than to go to a place that's the only place that I know that has every NFL, every NBA, and every MLB team. You can go to the back wall at GG Cards and Breaks and be a fan of anything. You could be a Washington Wizards fan for the NBA. You could be a Dallas Cowboys fan for the NFL. And you could be an Atlanta Braves fan for Major League Baseball. And they got a box there for you to go through and find your cards. Or not just base cards. You could find a little bit of everything. You could find an autograph card. You could find a patch card, a numbered card, a rookie card. So at GG Cards and Breaks, you can have a different experience every time you go, because you never know what the scavenger hunt is going to bring you. You never know the cool things you're going to find, and this is a perfect time to go shopping for Christmas and the holiday season, to get something for your loved ones, and to start your collection. If you've never done it before, it's a great thing to do, folks. I wouldn't lead you somewhere that I don't go, and I go there all the time, and the guys could tell you that. GG Cards and Breaks, I'm proud to call it home. I hope you do as well. Go there for the Christmas and holiday season and all throughout the year. 639 Delmar Place in Syracuse, New York. Open Tuesday through Saturday from 10 to 6, and on Sundays from 10 to 5. With that being said, here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, I want to thank you for being a part of the show today. Today was an incredible opportunity to speak on a lot of different things. You know, we have our trio of Friday segments here on Wake Up Call with the Annoying Moment of the Week, proudly presented by Carvel DeWitt, as well as LEAD, the acronym Learn, Evolve, Ad-Lib, and Deliver, proudly presented by Chick-fil-A Cicero, and the Top Dog of the Week, announced every week in hour number 2, proudly presented by Canine Camp Dog Daycare and Canine Kampground Dog Boarding, the only places I would tell you to bring your dogs for short and long-term care when you are running around for the day, you got a job interview, you're going out of town, you're renovating a house, it's the holidays, whatever it may be. Make sure you give them a call. The daycare is 315-437-7110. And the campground for dog boarding, where each dog has their own cabin, is going to be 315-299-4013. So make sure you get in touch with them today. You can get more information by going to K-9KAMP.com and K9
Kampground.com for the dog boarding side of things at Canine Kampground. And I want to thank Mark Neville for joining the show for the first time ever, representing the Directv Holiday Bowl that Syracuse is facing off against Washington State in, being the CEO of the Directv Holiday Bowl, and an awesome conversation about the Holiday Bowl and the bigger picture of college football and the bowl season, and all the questions that he answered. A lot of questions that I've kind of heard come up in conversation. So I'm happy to bring those answers and to bring them from the CEO that is overseeing the Holiday Bowl out in San Diego at Snapdragon Stadium. Many thanks for you watching and listening on youtube.com/wakeupcalldt, facebook.com/wakeupcalldt, and as well as wakeupcalldt.podbean.com. And many thanks to all of you that find us on Amazon Music, Audible, iHeartRadio, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts, Player FM, Podbean, Podchaser.com, Podvine, Spotify, TuneIn, and YouTube. All you got to do is search Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, or one word, Wake Up Call DT. And many thanks to our incredible partners here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Big time shout out to our wonderful Brooklyn Pickle down in Southern Pines, North Carolina on 1788 Old Morganton Road in Southern Pines, North Carolina. You will find the Brooklyn Pickle. We call it the BP, and you need to get over there today to the Southern Pines location for those of you down in North Carolina and enjoy Brooklyn Pickle the way that we have up in Central and Upstate New York for decades. Big time thanks to our team of partners in Central and Upstate New York, Carvel DeWitt, the Wildcat Sports Pub, Servomation, reinventing, reinvigorating, and just changing how I ever thought vending was supposed to be, gonna be. I've toured their kitchen, which is massive. I've looked at some of the different things that they have in their vending machines, the food choices that they have, incredible. I wish I had them when I was growing up as a kid. And the technology that they have. You know, it'll tell them if someone's running out of candy bars at this one location and that they need to order more. It's just insane that a code will come in and tell them, hey, there's a place out in Cazenovia that's running out of the fast break candy bars. They love those over there. So now you got to order more and send them out to Cazenovia. It's incredible the things that Brian Bruno and his team do at Servomation. Find out more by going to servomation.com. Mother's Cupboard, Avicoli's, Canine Camp Dog Daycare, Gigi Cards and Breaks, Chick-fil-A Cicero, Pizza Man, where we were last night and had a tremendous show. Go back and watch it. We are previewing the college football playoff as well as the Directv Holiday Bowl. We did it from Pizza Man Pub with someone who knows what it's like to win a national championship, because he did so with his team in the Pitt Panthers, Tony Dorsett and the crew, and that being Al Romano, who played as a defensive lineman on the Pitt Panthers when they won a national championship. So nobody better to talk about a national championship than a national champion. You could see that show with Al Romano, as well as Jeff Cook, the leader of the Beeville Bills Backers Club that calls Pizza Man home. And Jeff doing a tremendous job. We call him Cookie. Cookie doing an amazing job in support of the Buffalo Bills in bringing people together and just being an awesome family man and community guy and someone who does his homework. Al and Jeff came prepared last night, per always, and I absolutely love working with people that challenge me to be the best version of myself. So thank you to them. Go and watch back our show from Pizza Man, preview the Holiday Bowl as well as the college football playoff by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt or facebook.com/wakeupcalldt. Canine Campground Dog Boarding, as well as Brian's Landing, Mod Paz, the snack capital of the world, Great Lakes Honda City. We got a big announcement coming up from them on January 1st. And of course, many thanks to our exclusive multimedia marketing partners. Wake Up Call is proud to be the exclusive multimedia marketing partner of your Lemoyne College Dolphins. Find the Dolphins every single month and every single week, Wednesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern Time. You will find your Dolphins right here on Wake Up Call in what we call Dolphin Time. Student athletes, coaches, and administration. We just had an exclusive with the new leader of athletics, the VP of Intercollegiate Athletics and Campus Recreation, Phil Brown. Go back and watch that on our YouTube and Facebook channels. And of course, you could find all of our content with Lemoyne by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our Lemoyne playlist. You could also find the Dolphins by going to wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to LeMoyneDolphins.com and fins up. The Bryan and Stratton College Bobcats of Syracuse are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find men's and women's basketball, men's and women's soccer, and baseball throughout the year here on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora in what we call the Bobcat Buzz with student athletes, coaches, and administration. We have an all-new special coming up to you before Christmas with Alex Grigorita, the women's soccer head coach who just led his team to their 4th straight national championship berth, and they won a national championship within these last 4 years as well. You can find all of our content by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe, hit the notification bell, and find our BSC Syracuse playlist. The Bobcats are also on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to syracuse.bscbobcats.com and go Bobcats. The Binghamton University Bearcats are exclusive multimedia marketing partners with Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora. Find your Bearcats every single Tuesday in what we call Bearcat Time, happening Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. You will find the Bearcats, student athletes, coaches, and administration. You can find all of our content with the wonderful Bearcats by going to youtube.com/wakeupcalldt. Click subscribe and hit the notification bell and find our Binghamton playlist. The Bearcats are also on wakeupcalldt.com's homepage and underneath the exclusive partners tab. For more information, go to binghamtonbearcats.com and go Bearcats. I want to thank you all for tuning into this week of Wake Up Call. Obviously, next week we're going to have a little bit different of a week because we will be celebrating Christmas Eve and Christmas Day and the holiday season. So make sure you stay tuned with us. We will see you on Monday, December 23rd, by the grace of God. And I'm going to see you all out in Happy Valley. I'll be at Beaver Stadium this weekend to cover the college football playoff on site, on location, DT on the CFP. Your boy is going to be covering the college football playoff on location, SMU at Penn State, for the first round of the college football playoff in the expanded 12-team bracket. I look forward to seeing you out there. Shout out to the Mustangs and the Nittany Lions. I hope it's a fantastic game that comes down to the wire. And God bless you all and stay safe that are traveling out to it and traveling home for the holidays or wherever for the holidays. Just be safe in general. Thanks to Ma and Paz. Thanks to you. Facebook at WakeUpCallDT, X at CallDT, Instagram at WakeUpCall_DT. As always, God bless, no stress, do your best. Have a phenomenal weekend, and stay tuned because I got another special coming up with the Chick-fil-A Peach